Baba Shuaib, the correctional officer, born in Accra, Ghana, a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion, who does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran on platforms such as Facebook, YouTube and TikTok since 2018. In Finland, and 13 years, QBE, in Classical Arabic and MSA in Quranic Arabic. The author of the Refer to the Quran, which helps every novice to understand the steps towards understanding the Great Quran and the guidance of God in it. Baba Shuaib, the correctional officer, born in Accra, Ghana, a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion, who does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran on platforms such as Facebook, YouTube and TikTok since 2018. In Finland, and 13 years, QBE, in Classical Arabic and MSA in Quranic Arabic. The author of the Refer to the Quran, which helps every novice to understand the steps towards understanding the Great Quran and the guidance of God in it.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Peace be upon you all. Thank you for coming. This is Baba Shuaib, the correctional officer. Yeah, we are here once again, thanks to God. I seek refuge with Allah against the against devil. Let me give some shout outs. Let me see. I'm streaming live. Yeah. So I'm streaming live from Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and then TikTok, right? So I'm streaming live simultaneously from YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, right? So whichever place you want to watch me from, if you think that place is not okay for you, you can hop on. However, for those on TikTok, yeah, Muslim, I saw your message. Yeah. So if you are on TikTok, the only part of my lecture you will miss is when I share the screen via Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. However, for those on TikTok, if you happen to rewatch the program via Facebook, YouTube, then you get to see whatever I shared on the screen. But however, I'll be reading it out for you to get the gist of what I said, right? But for those on TikTok, you'll be having the bonus section, which normally when I finish almost 2 hours lecture here, I move on to that side. Sami Rashi. Katsotaan, toivottavasti inshallah huomenna mä soitan sulle, huomenna. Inshallah. Mä lähetän sulle viesti sitten, katsotaan huomenna se, mitä voi tapahtua lauantaina menossa. Okay. So, for those on TikTok, yes, I'll be doing a bonus session. Normally, I stay over for the correctional officer live dialogue, right? To interact with the sectarians, Christians, and whoever have you, who have opposing views to the things I have taught people online, right? So, embrace yourself for that session. However, for those on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, I think this is my third stream via Instagram. Unfortunately, I think Instagram also doesn't have a replay session. After the live session, you don't get to have a replay. But for Facebook and YouTube, you have a replay session wherever I've spoken about particular verses or mentioned verses that you couldn't capture, or I've shared the screen showing things you couldn't see. Then, yes, you can actually refer to Facebook and YouTube for all those materials, right? Thank you all for coming. This is my way I invite to Allah by perception. I and whoever follows me, and glory be to Allah, for I am not among the mushriks. Right, so let me give some shout outs to all those who are here. I start from Facebook, YouTube, and let me see. We have Oscar Sanya, we have Innocent Big Waterfall. Salam to you, Abdullah Abbas, Marcus Rogers. He says Yusuf Suleiman Hong. Okay, salam to you, bro. I have Rashitech Africa. I have All Stars. Yes, All Stars from Australia. Thank you very much. Love you too, bro. This is the land of Hoblos. Okay, and then we have Tariq Ayub, Emana. Yeah, no problem. Salis Jimmy, I see you. Naganka. Salis Jimmy, I see you. Representing. Sister Fatima Chin, I see you. Kam K, Kamad, brother Kamad, I see you. Abu Sise, yes. Don Nuru, I see you. Don Nuru, you want to kill me? You want to kill me with this Facebook, with this stars, eh? God bless you, brother. I have Imran Khan, Mazlan Osman from Malaysia, Bilal Jibril. Hey, waya, bro? Bro, I'll call you. Na kiraka, inshallah. Kabi mushigazum, inshallah. Na kiraka. I see Tom Johnson, Yusuf Sahid. Yes, thank you, brother. Mohammed Wisdom Bari. Yeah. And then we have Tan Mirza. Yes, salam to you. Amda Yelsida Nabil Khan, Reshe Green. Thank you very much, bro, for being present. I appreciate that. Adams Abu Ahmed ZJ. Bra Sedu Nagan Kasalam. Bra Sedu. Aha. Abdullah Abbas. Sadiq Ali Sharian. Salam to you, brother. Mustafa Muhammad, Keith Zag, Baba Yaqub, Alam Shah, Baba Yaqub. I'll try and see, because sometimes I hardly can keep up with the faces and people, right? I wish I have that capacity to remember everybody on the spot, but bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. If in case I'm supposed to get back to you, I couldn't get back to you, or I'm supposed to call you, I couldn't call you, you should understand the caliber of the situation I've gotten myself into. Sometimes it's difficult to catch up, right? So I try my best, my possible best, with the help of God, to catch up, with people, with appointment, with conversations. It's never easy doing what I'm doing, but for the sake of God, yes, I have the heart to face it. Right, so I apologize if you think I couldn't attend to you on time, or yes, you deserve the apology. I know, because first of all, I call your attention. You understand? So if I call your attention, I need to have the focus for you. But you should understand, I'm just one person trying to serve the needs of a lot. But that is what I've gotten myself into. But I understand. So if I couldn't get to you on time, please exercise some patience. But sometimes I would love if you can give me a reminder. If you send me a message and it's more than a week, you don't hear from me, anybody, just send me a reminder, a follow-up reminder, right? So I'll get to cross-check your message. Yeah, I see you from South Africa, Hassan from Johannesburg. Salam. Yes, so I see Rashid Sobreti, Momadi Pedro, Usman Damfodio, YSG. Thank you all for those on Facebook, YouTube. That is your shout outs to you. I appreciate your presence. Somebody might think it's unnecessary for me to mention the names. I do have to mention the names because I appreciate the support and the presence that you actually give me here. So I need to give you that shout out. You deserve it. Thank you all. For those on TikTok, I see Salam Somebody says ota liven. Ota liven. Onko se lääke vai mitä? Okay. Liven. Okay. Okay. We have Modu. Salam to you, Modu. We have Insist Dawa. We have Complex. Sami Rashi. Reflecting Islam is real Islamic. Yes, Chris, I see you. Salam. JJT, I see you via TikTok. Bandland, I see you. Afalat Akil Abdullah, I see you there. Adam Abdurrahim, I see you. Salam. Yes, I know more people will be watching on TikTok. However, thank you all for coming. Brother Zaid, salam if you're there. Salam to you. Peace be to you, brother. Okay, let's move on to the topic for today, right? Mainly the focus is I'll be discussing about the sectarian point of view of Ramadan. That is the abstinence. That is popularly people use the word fasting, right? But popularly, when you take fasting, we are talking about abstaining from food and water, right? Drinking and eating. But it has more to it, not just abstaining from food and drink. That is not only the reason, right? Salam, Sheikh Hafiz. I see you. Bawa Mak. Salam to you all. So I guess thank you all. Enough with the salams. Ebenezer, but salam. Enough with the salams. Thank you all for those coming later. If I couldn't mention you, Lamin Toure, thank you, Tajuddin. If I couldn't mention you after this, please, I apologize. I have to move on with the lecture, right? Yeah, just Tanya. Yeah, okay, you are welcome. Okay, let's see. So I'll be talking about Ramadan, and I'll tell you the sectarian version of Ramadan and their fasting. And then before I go to that topic, I'm going to deal with Numan Ali Khan. If you go to my YouTube channel, you see playlists such as Versus Scholars. If you go to my YouTube channel, look for the playlist called Versus Scholars. I've done all the prominent scholars you know of right now in the world, most the popular ones people like to watch. I've done videos on them, and usually correctional officer takes up those scholars to show you their mishaps, their confusions, their deceptions, and so on, right? Some of them, I can say they are doing it intentionally. Some of them, oh, well, only God knows if they are actually intentionally or not. But if I don't do this, you will not wake up. Trust me. If I don't go all out against the scholars, you will not wake up. Because you look up to them. You see them as, excuse me to say, you see them as gods. It's like what they say is final. You know, somebody will just be looking at Baba Shrive, maybe thinking I look like 50 Cent or something. And then you just say, who is this guy? We are talking about Mufti Menk and Zakir Naik. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Especially if they know I come from Ghana. By the way, today is Ghana's Independence Day. Ghana is supposed to be 67 years old, right? I don't know why they say Independence Day, but they are still going to take loans and borrow money. Ghana is not independent, no. But they are saying Independence Day today. So Ghana is supposed to be 67 years old. I'm from Ghana, by the way. I'll be ashamed if I say proud Ghanaian. I'm a Ghanaian, but the situation our leaders leave our country in, I won't say I'm a proud Ghanaian. No. Yes, but I'm a Ghanaian. Yes. And so Ghana is supposed to be 67. So if you're wishing me happy Independence Day, no, I'm not part of that. There's nothing independence about my country right now. They are still borrowing money. So Africa, yes, somebody just said it. Africa is not independent. No, we are not. Okay, so let's move on and deal with Numan Ali Khan. Let's away from the politics before people start tagging me as a politician. Salam, Sister Hannah. Somebody was actually tagging me as Pan-Africanist because I did a video speaking about the truth on how Black people hate each other when another one is speaking the truth. You know, people are weird. But anyways, So let's go. Okay. Yes, by the way, before I move on to the video, for those who are looking for a Quran to read easily online, go to thegreatquran.com. The Great Quran. The Quran, you spell it with Koran. Thegreatquran.com. Salam, Sister Yuki. So when you go there, you can get the Quran online, whether on your phone to read or on your website, right? But however, the PDF version is available for grabs. For people who have direct access to me, I do share it to them. But if you want to access it via internet on your page, there. Then for those who need the hard copy, this is the hard copy, right? It's just 1.8 kilos in weight, and you have the transliteration, and the Arabic version all intact inside, and it gives you word for word translations, right? So if you need the closest to understand the Quran by itself, this is Tafsir al-Quran bil-Quran. This is not Tafsir al-Quran bil-Hadith. No. So this is Quran by itself, right? So I base solely on the context of the structure of the Quran and the context of it to translate via the inspiration of God. So I'm not looking for any external influence. It's based on this, the Quran itself. So it is there. If you read the PDF version, you can justify it for yourself. You read the online version, is there. But however, for those people who need it, mainly shipping to Australia, USA, Canada, UK, Germany, France, people mostly from Europe have ordered it, and people from America, Canada, Australia, have ordered it. They have copies to it, and it will help you during the month of Ramadan actually to understand what the Quran is about. I even have Christians who ordered this copy, right? So if you are interested, yes, away from the sectarian point of view of translation and whatever interpolation or misconstruing the words of God, this is the closest you can get to the sincerity of the Quran explaining itself, not anybody else, right? Yes, so if you go to the payhip.com/nadsal, you get it there, right? For those watching from Facebook and YouTube, that is the link below me. It is showing there, www.payhip.com/nadsal, or you can go to www.holvi.com/shop/nadsal. It's there, it's available there, right? So for those based in Ghana, inshallah, maybe this year it should be available also for you to grab, God willing. Okay, so thank you all. Yes, salam, Baba Sidunaganka. Rahim Rafi, I see you too, brother. I see you as Faraj. Just Tanya, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, so now finally I'm done. let me focus. Finally, I've wasted 20 minutes already. Thank you. So let's start with Numan Ali Khan. Numan Ali Khan made a statement, but let me first play this statement first before I go to this video. Actually, this video, I got it from this guy called Funky Koran Guy. Is it Funky Koran Guy or something? I follow the guy on YouTube, but he has some interesting videos he did on scholars. He doesn't normally show his face. He edits and join the scholars, right? So I found it there. It just happened to be on my page and I found it. So the guy has some interesting videos whereby I pick up this video. However, thanks to this brother Sharif Karim, he shared me that link before I went to see the video. Yes, so this is what Numan Ali Khan said.
You do not get to add to the law of Allah, and you do not get to take away from the law of Allah. You do not get to add to the law of Allah, and you do not get to take away from the law of Allah. You do not get to add to the law of Allah, and you do not get to take away from the law of Allah. You do not get to add to the law of Allah, and you do not get to take away from the law of Allah.
So Numan Ali Khan says, you do not get to add to the law of Allah, that is the law of God, and you do not get to take away from the law of God, Allah. right? So no addition and no subtraction. No addition and no subtraction. No subtraction. You don't need to subtract anything, right, from the law of God, and you don't need to add. This is what they tell you. So for those who have seen a video of mine, I was wearing the blue top with the rounded blue cap and white, and I was talking about how to pay attention to the scholars when they tell you things subconsciously. They tell you the truth subconsciously. Consciously, they are like, hey, you can't follow the Quran without the hadith, without the sunnah, akhi. Consciously, this is what they do. Subconsciously, just like the video I just played, that's how they talk. They will be telling you things subconsciously, right? They don't pay attention. I know them. Correctional officer knows them very, very well. It's like they are drunk. I know them. They are my friends, by the way. I've been doing videos on them, so I know them very well. So these people will be telling you things subconsciously. So beware, you the listener. Don't just be watching us, especially when you're watching. Of course, correctional officer has been able to wake up a lot of people, but if you are just watching me, don't be drunk. Stay awake. Open your eyes and the brain. Don't just be watching, because I can make a mishap. I can just mistaken something. I want to say 5, I can say 2, right? So you have to be awake so that you can give me some heads up. It's important. So this guy says, you do not get to add to the law of Allah, and you do not get to take away from the law of Allah. So I wish he's practicing what he preaches. I wish. But unfortunately, no. Yeah. Unfortunately, Abu Bakr Abdul Jalil Janjani, you're welcome. So this is the problem with sectarians. They say things they don't practice. And in Quran chapter 61, right, verse 3 to verse 4, right? If I'm sure, let me confirm. In Quran chapter 61, verse 2 to verse 3, yes. It says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Then he says, kabura maktan indallahi an taqulu ma la taf'alun. So God says, oh, you who believe, why do you say what you do not do? Right? Then God says it is a major aberrance, maktan, aberrance, abominable in front of God, to say what you do not do. So there's scholars who will tell you things they don't do. It's obvious. I'm serious. They don't do. I'm serious. In the times of the prophet, if there's a war, there's a fight, there's anything, God is telling the prophet to lead, to be in front. If there's a knife, he has to hold the knife. Right? If it's a cutlass, he has to hold it first. You know? So imagine if it was his suicide bombing as well. He has to wear the bomb vest first. But today, people like Mufti Meng Zakir Naik will say, Yalla, yalla, go and fight him. Go. Hey, go. Then he's enjoying his 5-star hotel. And you are there fooling yourselves. Okay, let's go. Okay, so Numan Ali Khan, I'm going to play his video. Let's hear what he said, right? Nara Power Salam. Let's hear what he said in this video, right? Then we are going to take him up and assess him very, very well. So listen to Numan Ali Khan on this video. Let me play it. Where is this? Today, number 5. Now listen carefully what he has to say. Now, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear what Numan Ali Khan said? He's talking about the day of judgment. Some people will be in the hellfire. And he says God will tell the prophet to ask what he wants. And then he say he want to intercede for people who are in hell. So he said God will tell him, go and tell the people in the hell to come out. So imagine you are in the fire, you are burning, right? The fire is on you. You imagine excuse me to say, the American soldier who burned himself, he put fuel to burn himself. You saw how the fire was catching on him, right? Okay. So now, based on Numan Ali, imagine somebody being in hellfire and the fire is all over the person. And then Muhammad has to go to tell the person, leave, come, go, 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 go. So he's going out with the fire on his body. Imagine running. Imagine running. Go, 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 go. Prophet Muhammad is coming to save you from hell. Let's see. Go, 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 go. I'm going to crash this guy down. I'm going to use the verses of the Quran, and I'm going to use their own hadith books to show you the nonsensical aspect of these clowns and comedians you call scholars. I'm serious. They are disrespecting God, right? They are insulting God and his prophet and the messenger. So I don't have any mercy for any foolish scholar. I'm serious. Okay. Okay, so let me replay the video. I'm going to take it step by step and then show you the problem.
Now Allah is speaking to him. And what does he say?
He's in the mosque. He said, talking to the audience. So now he's saying God is speaking to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, right? God is speaking to Prophet Muhammad. Now listen.
Say, Ya Muhammad irfa' ra'sak. He says, Muhammad, raise your head.
So he says, Muhammad, raise your head. That's on the day of judgment. Raise your head.
Get up from sajda.
Get up from sajda. According to them, Prophet Muhammad will do prostration in front of God on the day of judgment because he wants to intercede for the people. According to them, they have hadith books where they claim that the Prophet Muhammad is the one to save the people on the day of judgment. Right? I'm not making it up. Look, I'm going to put the hadith on the screen so that you see it before I continue, right? You know, correctional officer talks with proofs. I don't joke with that, right? So I'm going to show you the proof on the screen. Here. This is the hadith on the screen, right? It is Sahih al-Bukhari here. Sahih al-Bukhari 335. You can write it down. Sahih al-Bukhari 335. According to the hadith, it is narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. He says, the Prophet said, I have been given 5 things which were not given to anyone else before me. And among the 5 things, if you go to number 4, he says, I have been given the right of intercession on the day of resurrection. And as said here in Arabic, it says, wa utitu shafa'at. Wa utitu shafa'a. That I have been given intercession. Right? So meaning, according to the hadith, they claim Prophet Muhammad will do intercession on the day of judgment. Right? So they believe that. It's not the Quran saying that. It's the hadith book saying that. So scholars like Numan Ali, they are Sunnis. So they believe, especially, you know the Sunnis. You know them, right? So they believe that, right? Okay. So let's go back to the video and I'll show you something.
And he says, وَقُلْ, speak.
So God will tell him, speak.
يُسْمَعْ لَكَ, you will be heard.
So speak, you will be heard, meaning people will hear you, or ye, God, will hear what you have to say. That is, he's going to do intercession, right? So everyone, imagine the population of the world, from the beginning of the world to the end, everyone. No, I don't know which microphone they are going to use, but I don't know if it is Blue Yeti like mine, or which type of microphone, I don't know. He says everybody will hear, right? So I don't know which language, because imagine French people and Chinese and, you know, Dagatis and Busangas in Ghana and so on. So they say Muhammad is going to speak on that day without a microphone. No speaker, but everybody is going to hear, right? So I wonder which language, because they left that out from the hadith. Because if it is Arabic language, the Gatis and the Busangas, they don't understand that. I'm serious. So let's hear.
يُسْمَعْ لَكَ. And he says, وَسَلْ تُعْطَى, ask, you
So now ask.
will be given.
You will be given. Just like the Christian says, ask, it shall be given unto you. Ask, it shall be given. So, you know, the hadiths, they copy a lot of things from the Old Testament, the Bible. I'm serious. I'm not joking. The act of circumcision and everything they find, the hijab, everything is from the Old Testament, the Bible, right? Or hadith copies. So don't be surprised if I tell you pagans or the enemies of Islam, they wrote hadith books to give you to you. You don't know, right? Telling you your prophet married a 6-year-old girl. Okay.
Whatever you ask, you will be given. And then he says, washfa, the case.
Oh, if you want somebody, you know, to do the shifa, the intercession, go ahead. Yalla, just do it. Muhammad, Numan Ali is telling you what God is saying from their own books, not from the Quran. So now the guy is, hey, you want to do anything? Muhammad, come, you are my beloved, Akhi, Habibi. Do what you want. According to them, God is not merciful. It is Muhammad who has the power. So Muhammad is going to do. I'm going to use the Quran to show you how confused these people are. You see.
I shall give you the right to speak on other people's behalf.
Oh, I shall give you the right to speak on other people's behalf. So which people are those? Because these people forgot to tell us how Prophet Muhammad will intercede for his father and mother. I'm yet to see that hadith and see any scholar talking about that Prophet is going to intercede for his mother and father. They don't come out with that. They always come out with They have any amount of faith, right? Any amount of faith in them. You, Muhammad, go to the hellfire and bring them out. So in the first place, do you see the insults the hadith is insulting God? So God knew they have even little faith, yet he couldn't respite them. He couldn't even consider them, but he put them to hell. So now Muhammad is the one with he's going to save, them out of the hellfire. Now see how he's going to save them.
Take them out. You go ahead and you can imagine the scene. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam calling people, go.
So Numan Ali is telling you and I, we can imagine the scene. So let's assume we are going to imagine the scene of that day. So now Muhammad is going to hell at the gate. He knocks. The gate of hell is open. I don't know if Muhammad has the bulletproof or there's a vest to protect him from the hellfire, but now it's open, right? And now he's going inside the hell to look for whoever he wants to take them out. So now, I don't know. Do you know when somebody is going to pluck out the beehive? Bee. Try to watch the video on YouTube. You see the dressing. You protect yourself from even one bee attacking, stinging, going through to sting you, right? So I don't know how Prophet Muhammad is going to do that, but the hell has to open and he has to go. Imagine the population of the people in the hellfire. He has to go and look for whoever he wants. So I don't know how the sections have been made, that this is the Arabian section, and this is the Caucasian section, this is the African section, and this is the Chinese section. I don't know how, but he says we can imagine. Numan Ali is saying that. So we are helping them to imagine. Now Muhammad is going to go to the hell to look for his people who are in hell. And then he is coming to tell them, go, come. So whilst the fire is burning, they are going to go out of the fire, running out. And I'm going to show you one hadith. What name do you call these people who are coming from Jahannam? I'm going to show you. These are all things they get from the hadith books, not from the Quran. I'm serious. It's like a comedy, right? Listen.
Go. And he's getting them to move.
So go. And he's getting them to move away from hellfire. Like, go. So Numan Ali is describing, he says we can imagine. It's just like we are going to the ship or aeroplane or bus. Imagine the kids are going for an excursion or a trip. You're telling them, go. Yalla. Yalla. So like that. Okay. Now, let me tell you where these guys get this tolis. I'm going to show you the hadith. Now, the hadith is found in Sahih al-Bukhari. In Sahih al-Bukhari, 6,566. Sahih al-Bukhari, write it down. 6,566. Write it down. Now, I'm going to share it on the screen and show you where these people get all these tolis from. So now, this is the hadith. Narrated by Imran bin Hussein. He says, the Prophet said, some people will be taken out of the fire through the intercession of Muhammad. They will enter paradise and they will be called Al-Jahannamiyin, meaning the hellfire people. Look at the insult again. You are taking people out of the hell, going to paradise, and they are going to be nicknamed, categorized, segregation, to be called Al-Jahannamiyin. Ladies and gentlemen, for the mushriks watching, let me read the Arabic version for them to hear. So this is the Arabic version. It says, Qala yakhruju qawmun minan nar bi shafa'ati Muhammad. Then he says, fayadkhuluna al-jannata. Then he says, yusamma'una al-jahannamiyin. This is what the hadith says in the Arabic version. In English, he says they will enter paradise and they will be called Al-Jahannamiyin. You are going to the paradise, but they are mocking you. Hey, Hadithiyuns, you. Especially you, the Sunnis. This comedy, if you don't stop. Okay. So then you see scholars like Mufti Menk and you are saying, Mashallah, Mashallah. You think they are knowledgeable. They are teaching you these foolish doctrines. You think they are knowledgeable, because of this Qalil and Arabic they know. This little. Okay. So this is the Al-Jahannami, which the Prophet will say, Yalla, Yalla, go to paradise. And then you are going to be paradise to be mocked. And they are going to mock you and laugh at you. Okay, no problem. So you see where these scholars get this trash of narrations from. So Numan Ali Khan, because they venerate the hadith over the Quran. Now I'm going to show you from the Quran how it contradicts the stories, the story they keep telling you. I'm going to show you something. Now let's go to the Quran. Let me show you this. I take you to the Quran. Then we go to Quran chapter 39, verse 43, right? And I'm going to share the screen to show you something. Yes, sorry. Here. This is that. So in Surah Zumar, verse 43 to verse 44, chapter 39, verse 43 to 44, it says, Amin takhazu min dunillahi shufa'a. Shufa'a. Then he says, Kul awalau kanu la yamlikuna shay'an wala yakilun. God says, or do they have intercessors? Because the Hadithiyuns, they claim Muhammad is their intercessor. I'm serious. And this is why they worship him. Wallahi lazim. Wallahi. God bear me witness. Hadithiyuns, they worship Prophet Muhammad. Directly, they will tell you, no, we don't worship him. Directly. They can never do anything in Islam without the honorable man. I'm serious. Hadithiyuns. If you mention God alone, they hate you. Don't ever mention God alone to an Hadithiyun follower. I'm serious. They will rather listen to Christians preaching about Jesus as the Son of God than to listen to you mention Allah alone. Hey, Hadithiyuns. They worship Prophet Muhammad so badly. Look, even if there is a gathering, they cannot do away with the gathering without praising Prophet Muhammad. It tells you the level of worship they have for him. According to the Hadith books, you have to love the Prophet more than even your father and mother and yourself and everybody. And to the extent they love him more than God. I'm serious. Okay. So Quran chapter 39, verse 43, or do they have intercessors besides God? So is Muhammad God? So you have him as your God. He is going to do intercession for you. Okay, we are going to see if your hadith can stand the test of time against the Quran. Well, God has given me fresh food. Why will I be focusing on garbage food? Okay. So God says to the messenger, say, what if they do not possess anything, nor do they reason? The idols you have in your garbage books, What if they do not possess anything, nor the idols in your books, nor do they reason? Then verse 44, God now told the messenger, remember, Muhammad is the messenger. God gave him the book. He's giving it to us. Now listen what the messenger says. Thank you all for the gift. Thank you. Pure honey. He says, Kul lillahi shafa'atu jami'an. Lillahi shafa'atu jami'an. It is only a fool who doesn't understand this simple statement God is saying. I'll give you the English version. Don't worry. Lahu mulku samawati wal ard. Thumma ilayhi turja'un. Say you, the messengers, tell the people, especially the mushriks, tell them, to God belongs the intercession. The intercession has a ma'rifah, definite article. It is not indefinite. The intercession is definite. So to God belongs the intercession. Yeah, thank you very much. Hey, Yusuf Kaba, I see you. Thank you, brother. I'll get back to you, inshallah. To God belongs the ash-shafa'atu, the intercession. Look, if I say the book and I say a book, there's a difference. If I say the book is definite, which means you know the definite thing we are talking about. So the intercession entirely belongs to God. There is no exception where God says except. Entirely it belongs to God. And I'll prove to you a point. Some people will say, oh, but some other verses say except what God permits or who God permits. But did God tell you he's going to permit Muhammad? Or did God tell you he's going to permit your grandfather or your pastor or your imam? Is that what he told you? Okay. To him belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. Thus to him you will be returned. That is Quran chapter 39, verse 43 to verse 44. Intercession, shafa'a, it belongs to God entirely. There is no exception. Mushriks, are you listening? I know you venerate your garbage books over the Quran, but don't worry, correctional officer will help you. I'll fix your brain up. Don't worry. So that is Quran chapter 39, verse 43 to verse 44. Now let's go and see, can Muhammad take people out of hell and put them into paradise? Is it possible? Let's go and check. Quran chapter 39, verse 19. This is what God told Muhammad, alayhi salam. He says, Afa man hakka alayhi kalimatul azab. Afa anta tunkizu man fil nar. You, Muhammad, God is talking to you, alayhi salam. So is he one on whom the word of the punishment has been imposed? So can you Muhammad, you, God is talking to you. Afa anta, you, that is a second person pronoun. Anta in Arabic means you, one person, you. Afa anta tunkizu man fin nar. You, Muhammad, God is talking to you. So he says what? So can you rescue one who will be in the fire? Can you? How? With which permission? Where? Prove to us from the book of God. Come. I dare you and your scholars. I open the session after on. You come and prove to me in the Quran where God says he will give Muhammad the permission to take you out of the hell fire and put you into paradise. If not, you are fooling yourselves. So that is the question God is asking. Look at the question God is asking. So can you rescue one who will be in the fire? Can you Muhammad, can you do that? If God has decided to put somebody in hell, then you, out of your foolishness, you come and say again, Anallah, Muhammad is going to intercede. If you are not a fool, why will you think like that? Again, we go to Quran chapter 2, verse 119. Chapter 2, verse 119. Listen what God says. Inna arsalnaka bilhaq bashiran wa nazira. Then he says, wala tus'alu. Wala tus'alu an ashabil jahim. So God is telling Muhammad that indeed we have sent you, Muhammad, with the truth, because the Quran is the haqq. Al-haqq min rabbik. فَلَا تَكُنَّنَّ مِنَ الْمُمْتَرِينَ. Quran chapter 3, verse 60. Quran chapter 2, verse 147. Quran chapter 43, verse 78. Quran chapter 23, verse 99. You go and check. The truth is from God. Chapter 23, verse 89. Now you said no. The hadith is the truth for you. The hadith explains the Quran for you. The hadith is the epitome of Islam for you. The judgments, the Sharia law, everything, you take it from the hadith books, not from the Quran. And God says, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. You and us, who are the kafirs? Ahlul hadith, hadithiyuns. You and us, your own hadith books call us Ahlul Quran, and he says we are the one going to paradise. Sunan Ibn Majah. Go and check Sunan Ibn Majah 215. It calls us Ahlul Quran, and he says we are the ones going to go to paradise. You the ones who call yourself Ahlul Hadith, Hadithiyuns. Where are you going? You are kafirs, because your judgment is based on a book God never revealed. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Quran chapter 5, verse 44, verse 45, verse 47. Go and check. You are the kafirs because you don't judge by what God has revealed. You judge by what Sahih Bukhari, Imam Bukhari, and Imam Muslim have revealed to you. Okay. So now, Quran chapter 2, verse 119. Yeah, more in it. So Quran chapter 2, verse 119. And you will not be questioned about the companions of hell. This is what God is telling Muhammad, peace be upon him. He will not be questioned about the companions of hell. For God to even say, oh, those in the hell, I'm going to ask you a question. So go and save those who you want. Go there and check if you see Abu Jahl and Abu Talib. And so, you understand? Yeah, that's your classmate. You remember that your classmate? Go and check. If he's there, look in the corner there. Look in the corner there. You see him, and then you pull him out. And he's used comedy. Hey, Allah, this mushrik gadi we are tuli papa. Hey, okay. So now, I'm going to take you to this verse. Quran chapter, oh, sorry, I stopped the screen. Let me go back. Quran chapter 61. Quran chapter 6, verse 51 to verse 52. Listen to what God says in that this thing. Now, Quran chapter 6, verse 51. And I'm going to read to verse 52. Now listen what God has to say. He says, وَأَنْزِرْ بِهِ لَذِينَ يَخَافُونَ أَنْ يُحْشَرُوا إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ. Then he says, لَيْسَ لَهُمْ مِنْ دُونِهِ. Listen carefully. لَيْسَ لَهُمْ مِنْ دُونِهِ وَلِيٌّ وَلَا شَفِيءٌ. Listen. Laysa lahum min dunihi. Then he says what? Waliyun wala shafi'un. Then he says la'allahum yattaqun. Now God says, and one by it. By what? The Quran. Whenever you see the masculine pronoun representing the book or the Quran, the damir you see when he says wa anzir bihi, it is representing the book of God, the Quran. So now he says, and one by it, those who fear that they will be assembled before their Lord. They have no guardian. The guardian, we don't have guardian, nor intercessor besides him. But the foolish mushriks will still tell you, Anallah, Muhammad is going to take us from hell and put us to Jannah, al-Jahannamiyin. And they are proud. Because the book of Imam Bukhari tells them so. Perhaps they will become pious. God says Muhammad should tell you that. He should warn you by the Quran. Bihi. The Quran is nothing but the truth. You foolishly leave the truth to follow garbage books, and you are satisfied. I'm not surprised. You have clowns and celebrities like the Mufti Mengs and Numan Ali and so on telling you all this gibberish, and you are happy. Keep being happy. Correctional officer is going to strike you with the truth to your faces, whether you like it or not. If you like, throw away your phone and switch off. Yeah. I know the mushriks, they hate me so much, but they keep watching me. I'm serious. I don't understand them. Verse 52. Then God told the prophet, وَلَا تَتْرِدِ لَذِينَ يَدُؤُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاءَةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ. Then he says, يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ مَا عَلَيْكَ مِنْ إِسَابِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ وَمَا مِنْ حِسَابِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَتَتْرُدَهُمْ فَتَكُونَ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Now listen to what God is telling Muhammad, peace be upon him. And do not dismiss those who invoke their Lord in the morning and evening, seeking his countenance. Nothing of their reckoning, listen carefully. Nothing. When we say shay'in, nothing. Not even half of something. Nothing of their reckoning on the day of judgment, of their reckoning is upon you, Muhammad. Nor is anything of your reckoning upon them. So were you to dismiss them, then you will be of the transgressors. So now God is clearly telling us in the book of guidance concerning intercession, telling you none besides him, besides God. And he's clearly telling you, Muhammad will not be responsible for you. He's not going to be your advocate. He doesn't even know you. How can you foolishly come years, over 1,000 years after the prophet, and you claim he's going to intercede? Where does he know you? So he will leave his family and intercede for you. You. You, the idol worshippers. You. You, the mushriks. The Ahli Sunnah. Was the prophet a Sunni? So you think the prophet will leave his people to come and help you? Hey, mushriks, you are frustrated. Somebody who doesn't know you is going to intercede for you. Hey. Okay. So you can see clearly from the book of God. To summarize it, I take you to Quran chapter 2, verse 48. So this is a shout out to Numan Ali Khan. We are helping him to reason a bit. He can sit alone in the room and watch. So Quran chapter 2, verse 48, God says, وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا لَا تَجْرِي نَفْسٍ عَنْ نَفْسٍ. Then he says, shay'an. So do you see the word shay'an here? Nothing or anything. And beware of a day no soul will be rewarded. Will be rewarded by another soul at all of anything. Nothing. Then he says, wala yukbalu minha shafa'atu. Wala yukbalu minha shafa'atu. Do you see? God says, nor will intercession be accepted from it. So you think God is telling you all this, and you foolishly still use garbage books to tell us, Anallaha. Muhammad is going to intercede for you. Does he know you? Confused mushriks. Wala yuhazu minha adlu. Then he says, nor will amendment be taken from it. No amendment. Then he says, wala hum yunsarun. Nor will they be helped. But foolish mushrik still says, Anallaha. Somebody who doesn't know them is going to help them. Hadith he use? Alul hadith. Hey, mushrikaga. Keep on dreaming. Alul hadith. Hadith use, okay. So, Numan Ali, that is for you. It's just a shout out. Okay. Oh, thank you very much again. Oh my God. I got a gift from Alpha Music Empire. This brother is surprising me a lot. Thank you very much, brother. God bless you. God bless you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's a German. I think he's based in Germany, right? A music producer and a musician and rapper. He's based in Germany. Alpha Music Empire. You can look him up. He actually gift me. You know, he enjoys the program I do. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. God bless you. So you can see the mushriks, the things they tell you from their books, the comedies, and you see how the Quran refutes their arguments with simplicity. Look, Quran chapter 10, verse 82. God says, وَيُحِقُّ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ بِكَلِمَاتِهِ وَلَوْ كَرَهَ الْمُجْرِمُونَ. Do you see? God will enforce the truth with his words, even if the criminals dislike it. Do you know the criminals? The Hadithiyuns. When you are speaking with the Quran, ishma'azzat qulubu, their hearts is filled with disgust. They hate you when you speak with the Quran. I'm serious. If you like speak with the Bible, you say Jesus is God. They don't get upset. Mushriks, they don't get upset. But you mention the Quran alone. Feel the Quran wahadahu. Oh my God. Hell is going to break loose. Those people, hey, you mention God alone, Quran alone. Oh my God. I'm serious. If you are married to a mushrik, she will divorce you that day because of that. Hey, don't joke with mushrik. So to them, that book, that comedy book, to them it is World Cup. Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the topic. So I've done 1 hour. Let's use the other 1 hour for the main topic, right? So let's talk about the month of Ramadan according to the sectarian's point of view. The month of Ramadan, we find Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, on the Hijr calendar, right? On the Hijr calendar, and it has 12 months, right? Even according to Quran chapter 9, verse 36, there are 12 months since the day God created the heavens and the earth. 12 months, right? We call it Isna Ashara, right? Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, Imam Taj, I see you. Salam, brother. Imam Taj, salam. Yusuf Kaba, I see you. You're welcome. Salam Alajat al Mahmud. Okay, so now we finished with the first session. We are going to the main topic. The main topic is about Ramadan, but let's deal with, we are still on the mushriks first. So when we go next week, during Ramadan itself, I will do the topic where I will explain to you Ramadan according to the Quran, not according to the comedy books. Okay. So when we say Ramadan is a calendar, it's a name of a month on the calendar, and you find it on the Hijr calendar. You don't find the month of Ramadan on any other calendar but the Hijr calendar. Now, misconception had made a lot of people target it as Islamic calendar because Muslims use it for their own, for the service of God. That's why people target as, Islamic calendar. But actually, it's called the Hijr calendar. Throughout the Quran, there is nothing called Islamic calendar, right? However, because the Hijr calendar has been dedicated, right, to the service of God, that is why people eventually named it as Islamic calendar. But there's nothing called Islamic calendar in the Quran. No, it's just Hijr calendar. Just like we have Gregorian calendar, Julian calendar, Mayan calendar, Chinese calendar, Ethiopian calendar, and so on. There are calendars, a lot. Right? Okay. So when you go to the sectarians, even though the month of Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed, remember Quran chapter 2, verse 185, there was already a month called Ramadan. it is not when the Quran was revealed before the name of the month existed. No, the name of the month already existed before the Quran was revealed. So when God says the month of Ramadan is to show, pinpoint to you that there's a month. Now, when we say shahar in Arabic, it means month. Now, what is the meaning of month? Shahar is a unit of time used with calendars, which is approximately as long as natural period related to the motion of the moon. So that's why we call it month. It's month and moon and month, they are cognates, right? So then from that, we have the notion of lunar calendar. Lunar calendar, which has to do with the moon, right? So that is what we call month. Okay, so in Arabic, we say shahar. So shahar has to do with the moon. Shahar, it has to do with the moon. Listen carefully. You can look it up for yourself. Check through the Stone Age and so on. You do your investigation to understand this. So when we say a month, it's a unit of time used with calendars. Then it says what? Which is approximately as long as a natural period related to the motion of the moon. That's why the moon has positions. In Arabic, we say manazila. Positions. Manazila, right? So we call it the lunar calendar. So lunar calendar, it means based on the moon. So that's why we have first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, because that's how the moon moves, right? But however, people brought the notion of Gregorian calendar, which is based on the solar and lunar calendar, right? Solar, mainly solar, but solar and lunar. So they add up some days. So that's why they have the leap year and so on. But however, Gregorian calendar was inspired by the Julian calendar. So Gregorian calendar comes from the Julian calendar. It is from the Julian calendar they adjusted it and then they edited it. So they took some days out, right? They took some days out based on the edition, right? And adjusted it. So now it became Gregorian calendar, right? So you can do your research on that. Now, when we say the Hijr calendar, there are 12 months in the Hijr calendar. First month is Muharram, the forbidden month. That is the month which was forbidden for the mushriks not to come to the Masjid al-Haram anymore. That is based on Quran chapter 9, verse 28. It was forbidden for them for the next year, the first of the month, they shouldn't come to the Masjid al-Haram. So that is the mushriks. So that is the forbidden month, Muharram. Then we have Safar. That is number 2. We have Rabiul Awwal, number 3. We have Rabiul Thani, number 4. Jumad al-Awwal, number 5. Jumad al-Akhir, number 6. Rajab, number 7. Shaban, number 8. Ramadan, number 9. Shawwal, number 10. Zulqadah, number 11. Zulhijjah is number 12. So 12 months in the Hijr calendar. People just tag it as Islamic calendar, but it is Hijr calendar. Yes, because it's based on the Hijr, right, of the Prophet and the believers. Okay, now, if you go to Quran chapter, let me put it on the screen here. Before I go to explain those portions, let me give you this understanding here. If you go to the Hadithiyuns, this is what they do. Number 1, I'm going to tell you about what they do, what their hadith books tell them to do. According to Umar, Ibn Umar reported that Allah's messenger as saying, let me put it on the screen. Sorry, you see it. Sorry, I share it here. Yeah, let me share the screen so that you see it here. Okay, I share the screen. Here. Now, when you take the notion of Sahih Muslim, 1080, 1080 H with the letter H. You can search it on sunnah.com. It says Ibn Umar reported that Allah's messenger is saying, the month may consist of 29 nights. Then he says, so do not fast till you have sighted it. That is the moon of the month, right? And do not break it till you have sighted it, except when the sky is cloudy, right? For you. Then he says, and if it is so, then calculate it. So this is what the hadith give them as option, right? So like I said, hadithiyuns only follow the hadith to give them everything explanation about Islam. They don't follow the Quran. I'm serious. Hadithiyuns, they don't follow the Quran. They only like to quote one line of the Quran, and then the rest of their argument is from the hadith books. Now, I'm quoting this hadith line for a reason, because we are going to assess their hadith, how they get their notion of their Ramadan and Siyam from the hadith books. They don't use the Quran. Okay, so that is number one. I shared a screen, you saw it. So to them, the month may consist of 29 nights. So do not fast till you have sighted the new moon, that is the crescent, and do not break it till you have sighted it, except when the sky is cloudy for you. And if it is so, then calculate it. So according to them, it is the hadith that actually explains the Quran very well. Okay. Now here, the second hadith I'm going to quote to you before we start analyzing their own listings. Now I'm going to put it here on the screen again, and I read it for you. And then I maximize it. Yeah. Okay. Now, narrated Abu Huraira. This is Sahih al-Bukhari, 3277. It says, Allah's messenger said, when the month of Ramadan comes, the gates of paradise are opened, and the gates of hellfire are closed, and the devils are chained. They are chained, like chain. They put the devils in the chain. I'm not saying it. Their hadith books is saying it. I started quoting to you how they have to sight the moon to start and how they have to see the moon to end, because this is how they follow the hadith, not the Quran. So it's the hadith telling them everything about Islam and Ramadan. So I'm quoting their hadith books to show you what they believe, the hadith use. Right? Okay. Now, this is what the hadith is telling them. It says that they are lying against the messenger of God, saying the messenger of God said, when the month of Ramadan comes, which is next week, the gates of paradise are opened, and the gates of hellfire are closed, and the devils are chained. The devils are chained. They are chained for what? Like, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, help me out. The hadith says the devils are chained. They are chained for what? Like, help me out. How? Chained for what? So hell is closed. Paradise is open. Then the devils are chained. Okay, we are going to see if really the devils are chained. I'm going to show you the foolishness in their garbage books. You're going to see. Brace yourself. They said the devils are chained. We are going to see if it's true. So, ladies and gentlemen, when it is the time of Ramadan, I'm going to show you from the Quran. You have to look for the devils around you to make sure they are chained. If they are not, please go and buy dog chains and chain them. So I'm going to show you. According to the Quran, chapter 6, verse 112, listen what God says. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا شَيَاطِينَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ يُوحِي بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ زخرف القول الغرور ولو شاء ربك ما فعلوا. Then he says what? فَذَرُهُمْ وَمَا يَفْتُرُونَ. So God says, and thus have we made enemies for every prophet, just like the mushriks, the hadithiyuns. They are the enemies of the prophet. Devils, listen, God used the word shayateen, devils of humans and jinns. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? God says devils of humans and jinns. Inspiring to each other the decoration of delusive speech or statement. Just like the hadith books, they are decorative of delusive statements. And if your Lord had will, they would not have done it. So leave them and what they fabricate. Just like me, correctional officer, and you, my wise audience, we avoid those people. We avoid them. But ladies and gentlemen, look, God says devils of humans and jinns. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Should I give you a acrobat too? Thank you very much, Miss Artistry. I appreciate the gift. Thank you. God bless you. Now, thank you. I follow you back. Yes. Thank you for the gift. Now, devils of humans and jinns. Ladies and gentlemen, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Seriously, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Okay, let me play Acrobat 2 before I explain. So now, let me help you to think what I'm thinking. According to their hadith books, it says when it is time for Ramadan, the devils are chained. It says all the devils are chained. All the devils, they are put in chains. Shayateen, they are put in chains. According to God, in the Quran, we have devils among human beings and devils among the jinns. So their hadith book says the devils are chained. Paradise is open and hell is closed. Ladies and gentlemen, seriously, if you know any devil human being, let's leave it next to you. Kindly go and check when it's Ramadan to see if you see any chain there. I'm serious. Do you see how you have the dog chains? You know when you chain a dog, you know the chain, right? Oh, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, are you getting what I'm saying? I'm not saying it too. This is what the hadith says. Look, I'm not saying it. Look, here, I'm not the one saying. Look, their own hadith book says it. Sahih al-Bukhari, 3,277. Do you understand? Okay. Sahih al-Bukhari, 3,277. I didn't say it. Hadith said it. He says the messenger said, when the month of Ramadan comes, the gates of paradise are what? Opened. And the gates of hell are closed. And the devils are chained. Okay, I didn't bring this up. You can look it up. So now, according to Quran chapter 6, verse 112, even among the human beings, some people are devils. Yeah, they are devils. So now your hadith books, it said the devils are chained. But yet in this same month of Ramadan, people are killing people. People are doing all the bad things. People are stealing people's. Look, even I have witnessed in my country, in Ghana, during Ramadan, somebody came to the mosque and stole somebody's shoes. So the devils are chained. Huh? The devils are chained. Now, which of the devils? The hadith is not specific. So seriously, if you see any devil, human devil next to you during Ramadan, and you don't see the chains on them, please go and buy the chain and chain them because they are not supposed to be free. The hadith says the devils are chained. So we have human devils and we have jinn devils. So the jinns, that one we can consider. You don't see the jinns, but the human devils, make sure they are in chains also. If they refuse, tell them the hadith says so. They say the devils are chained. We are going to see Netanyahu. Is it Netanyahu? Help me out. Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel. According to the world right now, he's a devil. So make sure he is in chains also. Against Palestine. They are killing our brothers there. So make sure the Israeli army, they are on chains also. Please. Your hadith says it. Okay. We are going to put your hadith to the test. Hey, hadith youths. Okay. Let's go to the next hadith. So the hadith youths and the Ramadan. The next one is this. Let me put it on the screen again. We go to Sahih Muslim 1151b. And I'm going to share the screen for that also. Here. It says, Abu Huraira reported that Allah's Messenger said, Allah the Majestic and the Exalted said, every act of the son of Adam is for him, except fasting. So according to the Hadith people, they said that when you fast, that fasting is for God. It's not for you. It's for God. So it's specially for God. According to the Hadith, this is what it says. Then it says, it is done for my sake, and I will give a reward for it. By Allah, in whose hand is the life of Muhammad, the breath of the observer of fasting, the fast, is sweeter, is sweeter to Allah than the fragrance of musk. Guys, you know misk or musk, you know the perfume, right? According to the hadith, Sahih Muslim 1151b, go to sunnah.com and search it for yourself. They are saying that during the fasting, you know, people's mouth smell a lot because they have not eaten. So the stomach is, the mouth is smelling. So the hadith is trying to encourage people not to brush their teeth, to leave the smelling mouth. So be careful. During Ramadan, be careful. If you are passing next to any hadith member, be careful. Because the gas is going to blow on your face. You might die. Seriously. So be careful. So according to the hadith, it says that smelly mouth is sweeter to God. What does God need? The smell of your mouth? Hey. Allah they understand, you know. Hey. Hey, the smell will kill you. Imagine in the mosque, somebody next to you, and then he's yawning. Hey, my God. Now, imagine one ignorant mushrik who never studied the Quran to understand proper wisdom. God says in Quran chapter 36, verse 1 to verse 2, Yasin wal Quran al-Hakim. Quran is full of wisdom. It's a wise book. Now, if any mushrik, uneducated mushrik, never studied the Quran, he has no idea the wisdom of the Quran. So now he'll be following these statements from Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. Now, imagine Sahih Muslim. And now one mushrik who is very ignorant has taken up this hadith. Sahih Muslim 1151b, telling you that God loved the odor in your mouth because it smells like musk to him. What does God need the smell of? Seriously, what nonsense is this? What does God need the smell of your mouth for? The smell is killing your neighbor or your wife or your sibling. And you say God loves. No, seriously, why? Why? Oh, why? Why? Seriously. So because of this, you see the hadith used, they don't brush their teeth. They don't brush. I'm serious. You know, like every logical person, when you wake up in the morning, you have to go and brush your teeth. Seriously. It's a norm to do. Brush your teeth. So because of this, they are not going to brush their teeth. Wallahi, they are not going. So be careful. If you have any hadith you next to you, be careful. If you are talking to them, do the distance during the corona. Do you know the safe distance? You have to repeat it. I'm serious. During this Ramadan, they are coming next. Hey, I was loving it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm serious. It's not a joke. During this Ramadan, keep your distance. Because this is where I'm not joking. This is where they get their inspirations from these books. The book is telling them not to brush their teeth. So are you surprised when during Ramadan you are scared to confront people next to them? So be careful. Especially the people who come. Thank you, the Warner, for the gift. I appreciate that. The people who like to come closer to you to whisper, be careful. You have to tell the person, please keep your distance. That smell, according to your hadith, is for God. It's not for me. Hey, hadith used. Why? Why? Seriously, why? Why this? What is that? So this is explaining the Quran. Which verse? No, tell me which verse of the Quran is this Sahih Muslim explaining? I'm serious. I'm serious. And can you imagine we used to believe in this comedy? When we were kids, we believe in this comedy. They tell you, don't brush your teeth. It's okay, leave it. God loves the smell. He loves which smell? You want to kill people? Hey, mouth odor. Do you know how Allah Adis you? Hey, Liman brother, I see you, bro. Salam. Liman Nagake. What is this? Mudu, thank you for the gift. I appreciate that. Hey, you want to kill people with this mouth odor? I'm serious. Why? This one. Let's move on. So this is what the hadith has for you. This is what they get from their hadith books. To the extent they said because the gates of paradise are open and hell is closed. So when you die in that matter, automatically you are going to paradise. This is what the hadith books tells them. So since the gate of hell is closed, according to your hadith books, so if an Israeli soldier dies, automatically he has to go to paradise. Now, this is what the hadith book says. I'm not saying it. Seriously, you never heard that before? So when an Israeli soldier dies during Ramadan, automatically, according to the hadith, since the gate of hell is closed, where is he going? Oh, seriously. Let's ask the hadith use. Where is he going? So it means he has to do the diversion. They say, okay, go to the right because the left one has been closed. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest here. Do they think Islam is a joke? These are the books your scholars are telling you this explains the Quran. These books. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Now, their hadith books, they get their inspiration from their hadith books. It tells them to fast from dawn to sunset. They don't fast from dawn to night, layl. No. To hadith use the thing called layl, it doesn't exist. When it comes to Ramadan, they don't believe in what the word layl stands for. So they do their fasting from Fajr to sunset, Maghrib. God says in Quran chapter 2, verse 187, you have to fast until layl, night. They will fast unto sunset. Take your dictionary, check the word sunset, and check the word evening. Is evening part of the day or night? The word sunset, is it part of the day or night? Sunset is part of the day. Evening is part of the day. Night is night. That's darkness. So if you want to know what night is, check Surah Al-Layl. Surah Al-Layl. Let me put it on the screen and show you something. When you go to Quran chapter 92, and I put it on the screen to show you something. When you go to Surah Al-Layl, God says, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى. Then he says, وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى. By the night when it covers. So when it covers, there is darkness. So God says in Quran chapter 2, verse 187, you have to fast until night. He didn't say fast until Maghrib. But Hadithiyuns, they rather do what the Hadith says. I told you, they are not following the Quran. No. Their guidance. Remember, Sharu Ramadan allazi unzila fihi al-Quran hudan lin-nas. The month of the Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed as a guidance for mankind. They don't follow the guidance of the Quran. They follow the Hadith. Do you understand? Now, so these people will fast until sunset, not night. Then they say when you missed, in case you have missed some days of the fasting, they say you have to pay it back. You have to make it up, which is a lie. God never said that. In Quran chapter 2, verse 184, let me show you the verse. In Quran chapter 2, verse 184, God never asked you to make up any missed days. This is just a misconception. So God says, ayyamin ma'adudat. He says for a limited number of days, the abstinence you are going to do. And I'm going to teach you next week, during the first week of Ramadan, I'll be doing on Wednesday. I'm going to teach you how to do all these things, right? So that you understand the principles. If you are going to fast, do the abstinence, and then you think it's only about food and water, drinking, no. The abstinence is about what God restricts you from, because you are only doing the abstinence for piety, for piousness. That is the main reason, the reason why you are doing the abstinence. So look, Quran chapter 2, verse 183. God says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, kutiba alaykumus siyam, kama kutiba alal lazina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. For you who believe, the abstinence, which some people will say fasting, but if you say fasting, you are only limiting it to food and water or drink. No. Abstinence, siyam, is not only about your food and drink. No. If you want to understand what siyam is, go and read chapter 2, verse 187. You get to know it's not only about food and drink. Or you who believe, the abstinence is prescribed to you as it was prescribed to those before you, so that you may become pious. That is why the Quran is there, so that you learn the piety, the piousness from the book. Chapter 2, verse 2. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. You get the guidance of God from that book. So the book is supposed to lead you through piousness throughout the month. So that is why whenever it is the month of Ramadan, you see people's piety, the level of piousness they have goes very high. I'm serious. That is the time people come closer to God. Do you get my point? So that piousness, it is something you have to keep up with. Don't just do it temporary and then you go back to your own criminal ways. So now, chapter 2, verse 184. Abstinence for a limited number of days. Ayyamin ma'adudat. So he says, so whoever is sick, listen carefully. There is no such thing as you have to make up for the missed days. If there is, I'm going to show you the problem. So whoever is sick among you, or that person is on a journey. Let's say you are flying by an aeroplane. You are coming from Australia to Europe. You know, you might miss one day in between. You are going from Australia to USA. You might miss one day in between. You understand? You can have a reverse days. For people based in Australia, they will tell you about this. When you fly from Australia, you go to USA, you can go back to the previous day. You understand? So let people who are based in Australia and then Hawaii or US explain this to you. You understand what I'm saying? So for people who are traveling also and people who are sick, this is what God says you should do. Listen. Or on a journey, then a number of other days, meaning the Siyam is within a month. So you can do a number of other days. It doesn't mean you have to replace the days you missed. No, you missed it due to sickness. You missed it due to journey. You don't have to replace it because the month is still ongoing. So if you miss those few days due to sickness and traveling, do the other days in front of you. The sickness is not your fault. The journey is not your fault because the journey you have to travel. It's like when a journey comes, it's a must. You have to go. So that is not your fault. Now listen to the ransom God says you should do in case there should be a repayment. Listen what God says. Then he says, and as for those who will suffer it, meaning endure it, a ransom of feeding a poor person. Then he says what? وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةُ طَعَامٍ مِسْكِينٍ. Now, those who will endure, meaning you can do it, but you will suffer during traveling. You will suffer. When you are sick, don't force yourself. You will suffer. If you will suffer it, now God is letting you ransom. You are going to ransom. Listen, not to make up the days later. You are going to ransom. Don't let the hadithiyuns tell you you have to replace those days. I'm serious. Don't let them fool you and tell you when you miss those days, you have to, unless if you are following Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, that's up to you. According to the Quran, God never said you have to replace those days by fasting again. You are sick, you're traveling, that's not your fault. What you need to do is to ransom. Do you understand the word ransom? Fidyat? Ransom? Let me help you out. I put it on the screen here. 1. Then I put 2. Then I put 3. Yeah. Now, when we say ransom, let me put it on the screen. When we say ransom, in literal sense, we say money demanded for the return of a captured person. So let's say somebody is captured, right? We can demand something for a ransom. So in exchange, we ransom by giving back the captured person and then take the money. That's a ransom. The act of freeing from captivity or punishment. So the captivity of doing the siyam, the abstinence, if you are sick or traveling, you can ransom by feeding a poor person in exchange for it. So meaning when you feed a poor person, no need for you to replace the day of fasting again or abstinence again. Do you understand? Payment for the release of someone. So let's say you are in captivity because of that day of fasting or siyam you couldn't do. You can make the payment of feeding a poor person. You're feeding a poor person. So you use that as a ransom. Fidyat, ta'amin miskin. So then you feed a poor person in exchange of that day you feel like doing, but you couldn't do, you suffer, exchange it. That's all God asked you to do. God never said you have to replace it if you are sick. He never said you have to replace it by fasting if you are traveling. I'm serious. Now, Quran chapter 10 verse 82. God says, وَيُحِقُّ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ بِكَلِمَاتِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُجْرِمُونَ. God says, and God will enforce the truth with his words, even if the criminals dislike it. It is not Baba Shaib enforcing the words with his words. It is not your scholars who are supposed to enforce anything with their words. It is God who has to enforce the truth with his words, not my words, not your words, not your scholars' words. We don't need them. We are all human beings. We can err. Let's listen to God. God never said you should replace any day of fasting. Well, if you want to fool yourself with hadith books, keep on. Because that's your book of guidance anyway, not the Quran. Okay. If you are following the Quran, God has given you the chance to ransom. If you are sick, you ransom. If you are traveling, you ransom. Just ransom it. Because whilst you are sick, you do it. You struggle. Whilst you are traveling, if you fast, you struggle. So ransom by feeding the poor. That's it. Do you understand? Don't stress yourself. Don't let any scholar tell you, hey, you missed 3 days, you have to pay for it. Hey, the fasting, is it for your father? Or is it for your mother? Hey, don't let any mushrik out there tell you that, hey, you didn't do 2 days, you have to pay for it. Hey, am I doing fasting for you? Look at the comedy, this thing. Listen to God. Don't listen to any mushrik scholar giving you their whims and desires. I'm serious. So you ransom by feeding the poor person. Simple. Quran chapter 2 verse 184. I'll go in depth next week to show you how it is done. Today we are dealing with the mushriks. Let's deal with them. No kufiu. Let's deal with the mushriks. Okay. So now these mushriks, they are scholars. You see them emphasizing, mandating people. If you miss 2 days, look, I've seen a scholar saying that if you intentionally break a fast, you are going to hell. Hey! Break what? Hey! What? Hey, the fast is it for your father? You are making me talk in Shatawali's voice. Seriously. The fasting is it for your father? If the person is struggling, he break the fast. Is it your issue? They will ransom. They have a way to ransom. That's up to them. Listen, there's something people don't understand here. So let me help people to understand. Go to Quran chapter 2, verse 183. Let me show you something that people don't understand from the Quran. Quran chapter 2, verse 183. Listen what God says. He says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu. The verse is talking to believers who have faith in God, who believe in God. The abstinence is prescribed to you as it was prescribed to those before you, so that you may become pious. So a believer is willing to become pious. So he's willing to adhere to God and do what God requires of him. He's not doing it because his scholar wants you to do it. You are not doing it for anybody but God. And you are doing it for piousness. So God is not forcing you. Use your logic, akal. Quran chapter 2 verse 256, God says, La ikraha fid deen. There is no compulsion in the deen. Now, so God is saying, Ayyamin ma'adudat. Then he says, so whoever is sick among you, or a journey, then a number of other days. He didn't say replace the days. A number of other. When we say other in a month, you miss 3 days, you miss 4 days, there are other days in front of you. Do the other days. Forget about the days you missed. Do the other days. Because those days you are sick, you're traveling. But then God says, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةُ طَعَامٍ miskin. Those who will endure it, you will suffer it. If you do the fasting, you struggle. Then God says you ransom by feeding a poor person. I dare any mushrik. When I finish this section, the mushriks, you have to queue yourself and hop on. Let correctional officer play with you a bit. Because your foolishness of thinking you know Arabic is I bore your foolishness. I'm serious. Okay. Now, these mushriks, they say there is something called Taraweeh Salat. Taraweeh Salat, they will do that 10 raka'at and so on. They keep going up and down. You see the videos circulating on the internet as if they are dancing up and down, jumping Taraweeh like that. That is not a salat from the Quran. God never gave you any salat called Taraweeh. Some of their scholars will quote chapter 89, verse 3. Wal Fajr, wal Layal al Ashr, wal Shafi wal Witr. And then they will translate this was Shafi wal Witr. And then they say, this is Shafa wal Witr. This is the salat 10 raka'at. And so, please. Chapter 22, verse 78. God says, Huwa ajtabakum wa ma ja'ala alaykum fid din min haraj. God is the one who has chosen you and has not placed any difficulty upon you in the deen. There is no difficulty in Islam. Stop putting burden on people, please. Islam is not for you. By force exercise, you will see people's grandfathers, grandmothers, you will see people's uncles going up and down, up and down, up and down. How many times? 10 times, 20? What? Why? No, serious. Why? I can't think far. No, why? You same people, you say Prophet Muhammad went to take 50 prayers because the people cannot do it. He has to negotiate so that it will be reduced to 5. Even this 5, you people are still doing Tariqus Salat. You leave the Salat and then do it later. And now you still go and add Taraweeh. How many? 10 raka'at. Disturbing people's life. Why? So, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. The Taraweeh was, the Prophet, he went to the 50 prayers. Was the Taraweeh part of it? We forgot to ask the scholars. So please, if any scholars next to you, please ask them. That Taraweeh, that 10 rak'at, they say when the Prophet went to take 50 prayers, negotiated, Moses said they couldn't do it. Remember? You don't know the hadith? It's Sahih al-Bukhari 349. Write it down. Sahih al-Bukhari 349. Write it down. They said the Prophet went to take 50 prayers. When he was coming, Moses said people cannot do it. So it was negotiated to 5 prayers. So if it is 5 prayers, because people cannot do too much. So why will you add Taraweeh? This Taraweeh, look, this Taraweeh, they normally do it after the Isha prayer. They keep going, bing, 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 bing. And then they will say, God will give you paradise. Just like that, because of that up and down. Okay. So then the mushriks again, they will say on the 27th of Ramadan, that is the night of Qadr. According to them, they keep doing their wobbling and wind. Look, in the Quran, there is nothing called 27th, which is night of Qadr. And then they say God is coming to the first heaven so that you can tell him whatever you need. So all your years, meaning God is not listening to you. Whatever you have been saying, God is not listening. So only that one night, you expect God to come to the first heaven before he get to listen to your prayers. Like seriously? Who born these scholars by mistake? Look, let me show you something. Quran chapter 2, verse 186. Now listen to this. Quran chapter 2, verse 186. I'm going to share the screen. Listen. God says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ ibadi anni fa inni qarib ujibu da'wata da'i iza da'ani falyastajibu li wal yuminu bi la'allahum yarshudun. God says, and whenever my servants, listen to the English, and when or whenever my servants ask you about me, which is God, then indeed I, God, I am near, Qarib. I answer the supplication of a supplicant when he invokes me. So let them respond to me and let them believe in me. Perhaps they will be well guided. So this is God talking here in the Quran. So you, out of your confusions, your comedy books, you are now telling us God will come on the 27th. That is the day in Ramadan that when you make a prayer, your prayer never goes over the bar. So God will listen and answer your prayer. Hey, mushrikanga. Allah mushrik, you make this comedy sweet too much. Hey, do you see the simplicity of Islam? The Quran is there. Look, let me add another sweet part. Quran chapter 40 verse 16. Listen what God says. Let me share the screen. Listen to what God says. Here, Quran chapter 40 verse 16. God says, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ أَدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِيبُ لَكُمْ. Ad'uni, the sectarians will say Udu'uni, Ad'uni, Ad'uni astajibu lakum. And your Lord said, invoke me, I will respond to you. He didn't say call me in the night of Qadr. He never said look for me in the night of Qadr. Biko, where did God say this? That you have to 27th of Ramadan, you have to wait for me, get up in the night, go and stand 3 hours in the salat. Why are you punishing yourself for? Seriously, we used to believe in that madness they keep telling us. And then we would take our sajada and go to the masjid and go and stand in the night. We stand for 3 hours. Hey, why? What kind of punishment is that? 3 hours because we have been bamboozled and fooled that, oh, God is that going to the first heaven that time. So make sure you don't miss it. Go and call God for 3 hours. Why? And you see people, ladies and gentlemen, to be honest, look, they punish us. Oh, seriously, they punish us big time. You go to the salat and you are doing this. The imam, you have no idea what the imam is even saying. I'm serious. And the funny part is, the imam will be saying, Allahumma dammir bani Israel. He's telling God, destroy Bani Israel out of his foolishness. He doesn't know that we Africans, we are the Bani Israel. He doesn't even know. He seriously, out of their foolishness, the mushriks, he is again telling God, Allahumma dammir ala Bani Israel wa wambanza. You are Bani Israel, you don't even know. You think Bani Israel means Israel as a nation? That nation you see next to Palestine was only formed as a state in the year 1948. Go and check your history. There was no country existing on earth, which is called Israel, in the 1945, 44, going downwards. There was no country on earth called Israel. Your foolishness, you think Bani Israel in the Quran is the Israel next to Palestine. And then you keep telling God, Allahumma dammir ala Bani Israel. Then the foolish ones at the back, Ameen. You could have used this effort to study the Quran. Then you know something wise to follow. You are following these Arab paid, Saudi Arabia paid scholars leading you in the salat, saying you are doing Laylatul Qadr. They gave the salat the name. They say Laylatul Qadr salat. Look at the foolishness. Where did God give you that salat in the Quran? And you let them lie to you. They say that's the time God will answer your prayer. So God leave you all your life. You become useless. So only that night, you'll be wasting your time, say you are looking for God. You think God is missing? The God in the Quran say he's with you. He listens to you whenever you pray. But because you are so sheeple, you don't study. You listen to the puppets. Saudi Arabia put there for you. You think they are guiding you. They are taking you to hell. Go and read Quran chapter 33 verse 67. What did God say? Qalu Rabbana inna atana sadatana wa kubara'ana فَأَدَلُّونَا سَبِيلًا. They will say, indeed, our Lord, we have obeyed our masters and our leaders, but they misled us from the way. Yes, Quran chapter 33, verse 67. You keep obeying the Mufti Mengs, the Numan Ali, they are being bought and paid for. Do you think they are preaching Islam to you? Oh, you never knew that if you have iPhone, there's also a Chinese version? Those people are giving you the Chinese version of Islam. I'm serious. Those people, they are giving you the Chinese version of Islam. Just like we have the China phone. For those based in Africa, it goes to a point, there's something we call China phone. China phone. You can have Nokia. Let's say you have Nokia. China will do the same Nokia version for you. And the sound is very loud. So you think that's a proper phone. Now, that's the same thing these scholars do in Islam. Because of their shouting everywhere and their dress and everything, like Mufti Mek tried to look like the Prophet. He appears so handsome like that. That guy is lucky like he's handsome. I'm serious. He is very lucky he's handsome. He should thank God. Then that other guy, the shouting guy, Hoblos. Now imagine Hoblos, out of the lies and the money they've been paid, he's shouting, "Wallahi, you are going to hell if you don't pray. Even if you are a murderer, you are a rapist. So far as you don't do salat." So he says, somebody who these mushriks. Don't worry, Baba Shuaib will get you. Okay. Yes, Hannah Banana. Hannah Banana says, she says, Numan Ali Khan does mix truth with falsehood, but he does have a great Arabic grammar program to get knowledge from. Now, Hannah Banana, let me help you out on this. There is a difference between understanding or knowing something from a particular language and dealing with the scripture in that language. There's a big difference. If I go to UK to learn English, doesn't automatically means I understand the Bible. I don't know if you are getting this analogy I'm giving you, because mostly the most popular versions of the Bible in the world is the English version. So a lot of people, they don't even know Greek language. They don't know any other language. They know English. So they've been reading the English Bible throughout. Going to learn English language is different from learning the Bible. Now, with somebody like Numan Ali Khan, these are the things they concocted, the sort of the mantik, the nahu, and so on. There are a lot of things they have concocted in their own ways and versions. I'm not saying they don't know it. They know it to some extent. But they play with understanding of words, morphology of words from the notion of hadith books. So a lot of the Arabic language teachers, they are inspired by hadith books. So some of the things they teach you, those understandings come from the Arabic literature based on the poetry, the poems, the certain historical references. They use these understandings to teach you, making you think they are teaching you the Quranic Arabic. No, there's a big difference. Yes, there's a big difference. Okay. I would rather encourage people to take the basic lessons from them. Basic, yes. Don't let them influence this kind of external, from their shuyuks and so on. Don't let them influence you with that. They will entrap you. Seriously. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So now, ladies and gentlemen, when we come to the notion of Ramadan, before you practice, before you follow the month of Ramadan, which is next week, from next week, we are entering into the month of Ramadan, right? Now, if you have no idea about the month of Ramadan and what is supposed to be done in it, please refrain. Don't do it till you understand what needs to be done. If you are not sure the month of Ramadan is this month, please refrain. Don't do it if you are not sure. If you are not sure how to go by the Quran itself to practice, to follow the Siyam of Ramadan, please refrain. The reason is, I take you to Quran chapter 17, verse 36. Listen to the advice God is giving you here. Quran chapter 17, verse 36. God says, وَلَا تَخْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. And do not pursue what you have no knowledge about. Indeed, the hearing, the eyesight, and the mind, all those will be accountable thereof. Do you understand me? Do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. You will be held accountable for that. If you go practicing things you don't know, if you go following things just because the majority is doing it, you'll be in limbo. Be careful. Try to investigate. Make your research till you are convinced before you do it. The question is, Baba Shuaib, are you convinced next month is the month of Ramadan? Yes, I am convinced. I have my evidence. I will show you after this. I am convinced next month, this next week, we are entering into Ramadan, the month of, according to the Hijr calendar. Yes, I'm convinced. Throughout the world, I never found any other calendar which bears the name month of Ramadan, except the Hijr calendar. And I will explain the reasons why. Okay. Prophet Muhammad himself, he used this calendar, Hijr calendar, he has used it. Yes. And I will show you how consistent that calendar has been till date. I will show you with the proofs. For so those on TikTok, unless you rewatch on YouTube later on, you will see the evidence I'm going to give. And do not pursue what you have no knowledge about. Indeed, the hearing, the eyesight, and the mind, all those will be accountable thereof. Okay. Now, when you go to Quran chapter 49, verse 6, this is what God says. It says, "O you who believe, if an immoral person brings you news, then ascertain or investigate, lest you strike a people out of ignorance. Then you will become remorseful over what you have done. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, in ja'akum fasikun binaba'in fatabayyanu." Do you get the point? Fatabayyanu an tusibu qauman bijahalatin. Then he says, fa tusbihu ala ma fa'altum nadimin. O you who have believed, if an immoral person, do you know who an immoral person is? Do you want to know? When you go to Quran chapter 5, verse 47, Surah Al-Ma'idah, God says, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. Whoever does not judge by what God has revealed, they are the fasiqs. They are the immoral people. They are the disobedient people. That is a fasiq. Who is a fasiq? A fasiq never uses the book of God to judge. You know them, right? I don't need to mention names. So God says, and all you who believe, if an immoral, you already know, somebody who does not judge by the words of God. If an immoral person brings you news, you know news, right? Naba'i. You know Surah Al-Naba'i, yeah? Amma yatasa'alun, adin naba'i al-azim. Naba'i is news. You know the news they can bring you. Oh, it is the time to start the fast. It's Ramadan. We have seen today is the first day. Those people bring you news. You know them, huh? Mm-hmm. So when they bring you news, then God says, then ascertain. Because already you know they don't use the book of God for judgment. And they are bringing you news that it's time for Ramadan. You have to investigate. So that is why I started by quoting chapter 17, verse 36. Do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. Right? I mentioned chapter 5, verse 47. Chapter 5, verse 47. You see that. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. They are fasiqs. Okay. Now, so if an immoral brings you news, you have to investigate, ascertain. Good. Now, then I take you to Quran chapter 2, verse 185. In Quran chapter 2, verse 185, it says, Sharu Ramadan allazi unzila fihi al-Quran hudan lin-nas. The month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed as guidance for mankind. Then it says, وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِنَ الْهُدَى وَالْفُرْقَانِ, is to serve as well as proofs of the guidance and the criterion. Now then God says, وَمَنْ شَهِدَ فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. Whoever witnesses the month among you the believers. Remember, Quran chapter 2 verse 183 is talking to those who believe. If you are not a believer, don't do siyam. Stay away from it. It's for the believers. So whoever witnesses the month among you, and I told you the word month, the shahar, it deals with the moon, right? The shahar, it deals with the moon. Okay, that is the month. So whoever witnesses the month, that is the moon, among you, the month, you know how to know the first of the month, that is starting with the hilal, ahilla. We have the crescents. We have the new moon, that is the waxing crescent, and the waning crescent. Now, when we say the crescent, you know the thing that appears like the letter C in the sky, the moon, where you see the C like a white C, sometimes yellow, sometimes red, different colors, but that C you see. Now, when we say waxing crescent moon, the moon does not emit its own light, shining instead by reflecting sunlight, because the sun reflects to the moon, and the moon gives that color. The waxing growing crescent moon rises before noon, transits the meridian before sunset, and sets before midnight. The waxing crescent phase repeats every 29.531 days, one synodic month. Then we have the waning crescent. The waning crescent moon phase, the illuminated part of the moon decreases from the lit up semicircle at third quarter until it disappears from view entirely at new moon. Then it says waning means that it is getting smaller, while crescent refers to the curved shape similar to a banana or a boot or an old palm branch, just like the Quran gives the clue to that, according to Quran chapter 36 verse 39, right? Now, when you go to Quran chapter 10, I'm going to show you something. Quran chapter 10 verse 5. God says, Huwa allazi ja'ala al-shamsa diya'an wal-qamara nuran wa qaddarahu manazila lita'lamu adada as-sinina wal-hisab. Then he says, Ma khalaqa Allahu zalika illa bil-haqq yufassilu al-ayati liqawmi ya'lamun. So God says he is the one who made the sun glow. So the sun self glows. It is glowing by itself, on its own, right? So it is diya'an. It's like a glowing light. And the moon, the qamar, as a light, nuran. So by scientific study, the sun glowing gives the moon the reflection, the light, the radiant. So the moon reflects the light of the shining of the sun to it. And that's why the moon can change different colors. Sometimes it looks red, sometimes blue, sometimes yellow, sometimes white, to understand different colors because of the reflection. And estimated it. So now here, this is the interesting part. Then God says, وَقَدَّرَهُ is referring to the moon, not the sun. If God is talking about the sun, he used a feminine attribute to represent the sun. When he's talking about the moon, he uses a masculine attribute, that is a pronoun, to represent the moon. Right? Now, to understand this, let me put this on the screen. To understand this, you go to Surah Shams, right? In Surah Shams, chapter 91, verse 1, it says, وَالشَّمْسِ وَدُهَاهَا. by the sun and its forenoon. The ha at the end, it's representing a feminine pronoun. The damir is a feminine pronoun, which is representing a female aspect. So the sun is attributed with a female pronoun, whilst the moon has a masculine pronoun. To understand this, check chapter 91, verse 1. Now, I take you back. Quran chapter 10, verse 5. So God says, He is the one who made the sun glow and the moon as a light, and estimated it, not the sun, estimated the moon, because that's the reason why the moon has positions. You can check the timetable calendar, how the moon moves. You see it by the positions. Then He says, so that He does the positions, so that you people may know the number of years and calculation. God did not create these except for the truth. He explains the signs for people who know, not those who don't know. Who don't know, put them on the side. Okay. Now, the reason why somebody like me, Baba Shaib, I am convinced that this Ramadan, the next week, Ramadan is the real month of Ramadan. I'm going to prove to you now. Now, when you go to Quran chapter 8, verse 41, let me check my time before, if this one will take more time. Let me check how many time. Now, I've done 2 hours, 10 minutes, right? So let's say maximum, I'll spend 20 more minutes before we end the program. And then I go on TikTok, right? Okay, so now, Quran chapter 8, verse 41. I'm going to show you something. And know that whatever you capture of spoils, then indeed 1/5 is for God and for the messenger, and for the relatives and the orphans and the poor people and the wayfarer. If you believe in God and what we have revealed to our servants on the day of the criterion. Then God says, the day the two assembles met, and God is capable of all things. Now, in Arabic, this is what the verse says here in Arabic. God says, here, He says, وَمَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا يَوْمَ الْفُرْقَانِ. Now, the Furqan has a definite article. Al-Furqan has a definite article. If you go to Quran chapter 25, verse 1, it talks about the Al-Furqan. That God revealed the Al-Furqan to His servants, which is Muhammad, peace be upon him. Quran chapter 2, verse 185, it talks about the Quran bearing the Al-Furqan. So the Al-Furqan is in the Quran also. It was revealed as part of the Quran. Okay. So now, God is telling the believers. He says, if you believe in God and what we have revealed to our servants on the day of the criterion, the Al-Furqan, the day the two assembles met. So this is a representative event that can be spotted on the calendar, because God mentioned that, and what we have revealed to our servants. He's telling the believers to remember, it is a day, and a day can be found in a week, and a week can be found in a month, and a month can be found on a calendar. So it was in the month of Ramadan, God revealed the Al-Furqan. So this the day of Al-Furqan, the day the two assembles meet. You want to know the extra reasons behind the meeting? It is the Battle of Badr. Quran chapter 3, verse 123. Start from 121. You see when the two assembles met, what happened on that day. Now, when you check the history of Badr, I give everybody watching, Google the date of the Battle of Badr. Just Google the date, only the date, not the story. The story can be found in the Quran. You are not looking for the story outside. The story of the Battle of Badr is found in the Quran. Don't go reading the story outside, but go for the dates. Events, just like we have the event of World Trade Center. When you mention World Trade Center, everybody knows September 11th. So it is an unforgettable day. Likewise, the Battle of Badr is one of the biggest days in the history of the Prophet and the believers next to him when they fought the Mushriks. You understand? So this Battle of Badr, ladies and gentlemen, kindly Google the dates and start typing to me The Battle of Badr, the date. Stop typing to me right now. And I'm going to show you something interesting. Just like your birthday, the date you were born, the date you were born on earth, it can be traced on a calendar. That date can be traced wherever you go. It is there. Right? The date you were born. It can be traced on a calendar. Wherever you go, it is there. It will not get missing. So please, type down on the screen, show me the date of the Battle of the Badr. I'm going to show you something, that the month of Ramadan, which is coming next week, is the correct date. Somebody wrote March 13th. That is according to the Common Era. That is the Julian calendar, which is correct. Please, Google that date. I'm going to show you something. Kindly Google that date. I'm going to help you to see something. 13th March, 624 CE. That is Julian calendar, Common Era. Google it. I want to help you see something. That is the Battle of Badr happened. It is a famous day in history when the Muslims fought against the Mushriks. And they won. God gave them victory. You want to understand the fight, read chapter 8 and chapter 3. Start from 120 downwards. You see the history there. But that date, God says the believer should remember the day he revealed the Al-Furqan to his servants. On that day. Check it. I want to show you something. So March 13th, 624 CE, that is Julian calendar. That is if you convert the date from the Arabian calendar. In the Hijr calendar, it is 2nd of Ramadan. It is the 17th of Ramadan, the second year after Hijr. This Hijr calendar, which is now 1,445 years, you can Google it. Ask your Google, which year of the Hijr calendar are we now? We are in 1,445 years. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used the same calendar, Hijr calendar Arabians are using now. Yeah? In that calendar, they fought on the 17th of Ramadan, second year after Hijr, they fought the Battle of Badr, which is a famous fight in the history, just like World Trade Center. September 11th is an unchangeable date in history. Remember that. The story of what transpired is in the Quran. But the date is unchangeable. You can't change the date. Even if you change it, it can be traced. Because you are not the only one who witnessed it in your room. It's a date everybody in the world witnessed it. You understand? And the Arabians used to be the dominant force in the world, just like now America and Russia are claiming to be the world superpowers. The Arabian force used to be the dominant force in the world, which they even colonized some parts of the Europe as well. Read the history for yourself. But now I'm only helping you to not have doubt concerning the Ramadan, that the month you are seeing next week is the month of Ramadan. There is nothing changed. I'm going to help you to see that. Okay. So we are in 1,445 Hijr calendar. But the day God revealed the Al-Furqan to the prophets, that day it is the day of the Battle of Badr. That day you cannot change it in history. It's there. You can't change it. Right? Okay. So that is the 13th of March. If we use the Julian calendar, it is the 13th of March, 624, Julian calendar. If you go to the Hijr calendar, it was the 17th of Ramadan, second year after Hijr. Remember that. Now, I'm going to help you to see something. Now, for those on Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to share something interesting for you to learn something today. The Julian calendar, this common era calendar, has been edited, and that is why today we are using Gregorian calendar, the most famous calendar on earth right now, which is based on the solar. So I'm going to read an article for you to understand. I'm almost coming to an end. Now, when we say the Julian calendar is a solar calendar of 365 days in every year with an additional leap day every 4 years. Without exception, the Julian calendar is still used as a religious calendar in parts of the Eastern Orthodox Church. and in parts of the Oriental Orthodoxy as well as the Amazigh people. The Julian calendar was proposed in the 46 BC by Julius Caesar as a reform of the earlier Roman calendar, which was largely a lunisolar calendar, right? It took effect on the 1st of January 45 BC. Now, by his edict, Caesar's calendar became the predominant calendar in the Roman Empire, and subsequently most of the Western world for more than 1,600 years until 1582, when Pope Gregory, that is the name with the name Ugo Boncompagni, right, was head of the Catholic Church. Then he says what? Promulgated a revised calendar. Now, the Julian calendar has two types of years: a normal year of 365 days and a leap year of 366 days. They follow a simple cycle of 3 normal years and 1 leap year, giving an average year that is 365.25 days long. That is more than actual solar year. Value of approximately 365.204,422 days. The current value, which varies, which means the Julian calendar gains 1 day every 129 years. In other words, the Julian calendar gains 3.1 days every 400 years. Now listen to why they changed the Julian calendar and start using Gregorian calendar, because there was an error. Okay. Gregory's calendar reform modified the Julian rule to reduce the average length of the calendar year from 365.25 days to 365.2425 days, and thus corrected the Julian calendar's drifts against the solar year. The Gregorian calendar gains just 0.1 day over 400 years. For any given event during the years from 1901 through 2099, we are going forward, its date according to the Julian calendar is 13 days behind. So now, Julian calendar, if we are still supposed to use it today, it will be 13 days behind as compared to the Gregorian calendar we are using today. So if you calculate Julian calendars today, it is 13 days behind. Okay. It is behind its corresponding Gregorian dates. For instance, Julian 1 January falls on Gregorian 14th January. Most Catholic countries adopted the new calendar immediately. That is why Gregorian has been popular, because the Catholics went all over the world to dominate certain places. That's why we are, even including Ghana, we are using Gregorian calendar. Okay. Protestant countries did so slowly in the course of the following 2 centuries or so. Most Orthodox countries retained Julian calendar for religious purposes, but adopted the Gregorian as the civil calendar in the early part of the 12th century. Now, when I told you to check the date of Battle of Badr, when you check, you gave me 13th March 624 Julian calendar, common era. Now I'm going to show you how to convert the dates. Now this is, you go to calendarhome.com. I'm going to show you how to convert dates and be consistent with time, to understand that the time Prophet Muhammad existed, the Hijr calendar he was using is still consistent till today, right? Today in the Hijr calendar, we have 1,445 years in the Hijr calendar. Google it for yourself. Now, the famous events which ever happened during the time of Muhammad against the Mushriks was the Battle of Badr. It is a famous event in history. Just like the World Trade Center, September 11th is a famous event in history. You can't change the date. Even if the world should stop using the Gregorian calendar today, bang, we can still trace it. Because history has the dates written down. You can't change it. It's a famous event. Just like the Battle of Badr is a famous event. Right? Okay, now Google the Battle of Badr. the dates, not the story, the date. Google it. It will give you 13th of March, 624, Common Era, Julian calendar. Because at that time, Julian calendar was being used by the Catholics and so on, right? Whilst the, how do you call it? The Arabians were using the Hijr calendar at that time. So I quoted chapter 8, verse 41. In chapter 8, verse 41, God is telling the believers to remember what he revealed to his servant on the day of the Al-Furqan. You know the Al-Furqan? Go to chapter 25, verse 1. Al-Furqan. That's the criterion. So God revealed to his servants. And he's telling the believers to remember the day he revealed that Al-Furqan to him. Okay. Now, this Al-Furqan, listen carefully. If you go to Quran chapter 8, verse 41, it is the day the two parties met for fight. That fight in history is called the Battle of Badr. This Battle of Badr is so famous in history, you can't change the date. It's there. It happened on the 17th of Ramadan, second year after Hijr. Google it for yourself and see. When you convert that date, at that time, they were using the Julian calendar by the Catholics. The Julian calendar was 13th March, 624, Common Era. That is the Julian calendar. Okay, now, I'm going to help you understand it on the screen. This was the date, 624, March, and then 13th. Now, look at here. They say Islamic date, but that is what we call the Hijr calendar. The reason why they call it Islamic date, because people have been calling it Islamic calendar, and it's remained. But it's actually called Hijr calendar. This Hijr calendar, when you take the date of Badr, it happened on the 17th of Ramadan, second year after Hijr. When you convert it to the Julian calendar, you have 624, the year 624, Common Era, March 13th. But I just explained to you how Julian calendar was skipped because of the errors they have, and then they started using Gregorian calendar. So Gregorian calendar, there is a difference between Gregorian calendar and Julian calendar now, 13 days difference. Because the Julian calendar initially was based on solar. Then the Gregorian calendar was adjusted to start using lunar and solar calendar so that they can adjust the days. Do you understand me? That's why sometimes they have the leap year. Okay. Now, since we have stopped using Julian calendar, most of the parts of the world have stopped using Julian calendar. We are using Gregorian calendar. In Gregorian calendar now, right? If we should say we are going to use Julian calendar still till today, we are using Julian calendar. This is what the date will be. It will be like this. I'm going to show you. 2024 Julian calendar, then March, right? And then today is what? 6, right? Then it will be 1445, the year of the Hijr calendar. The month will be Ramadan, and the day will be 90, day number 9. But the reason why the Julian calendar is not being used, because it has been edited, so 13 days backwards, when we compare to the Gregorian calendar. Now we are using Gregorian calendar in the world. So I'm going to put that correct date for the Gregorian calendar. Up here, Gregorian calendar is 2024 March, and today is what? 6. So let's put it on 6. Today you have 25th of Sha'aban, then you have 1145. Now I'm going to show you the difference. You see that there is a difference of number of days between this to the 6 days up there. So you have 13 days difference. Do you understand? There will be difference of days in the Julian calendar with the Gregorian calendar. There is 13 days difference just because of the leap year. So there's a 13 days difference. Okay. Now, here, see this thing here. When you start counting, and let's say we are going to use the Julian calendar, and I'm going to put, let's say, Gregorian calendar, and I'm going to put 12. Let's say we are starting Ramadan on the 12th. Here. What you find is 1145. The month is Ramadan and the day is 2nd. If we stand on the 11th of March, you will have 1445. That's the year of the Hijr calendar. The month is Ramadan, and then the day is 1. So assuming if the abstinence starts on the 11th of March, you will have it in the calendar Ramadan. Now, when you start counting from that year, the Julian calendar, 624 common era, when you start counting, it is consistent till today because it's 13 days backwards compared to the Gregorian calendar, right? It is consistent. But today we are not using Julian calendar. So we are using Gregorian calendar. You understand? That date, the Hijr calendar has 1,445 years, is consistent with time because the day Prophet Muhammad received the Al-Furqan is a known day which the Battle of Badr happened. That is the day he received the Al-Furqan, according to Quran chapter 8, verse 41. The believers know that, and it's a famous day in history because there was a fight of Badr. So that is why you use the Battle of Badr as a yardstick to understand in which months the Prophet received the Al-Furqan. Do you understand this? So now, next week, we are in the month of Ramadan, according to the lunar calendar, the Hijr calendar. It is consistent. There is nothing like people telling you, oh, because the name of the month means Ramadan, Ramadan means summer. Summer, then what about Ghana? Do you think Ghana has a season called summer? So if you say summer, which of the summer? Australian summer? Or is it Canadian summer? Or Finland summer? Which of the summer? So what are you talking about? Some people will say the scorching heat, whatever, whatever. Look. Just ask them a simple question. Battle of Badr, has it existed or not? If yes, which date? You don't know? Ask them September 11. Has it existed or not? If yes, which date? Which date? Let's assume you weren't there. Are you saying it never happened? So are you going to tell us Battle of Badr never happened? Ladies and gentlemen, next week we are in the month of Ramadan. But if you are following the book of God, you have to wait till you spot the crescent. When you spot the crescent, yes, you can start wherever you are. That's why it says, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهَرِ. The shahr goes with the moon. That is why Quran chapter 2 verse 189 tells you about the ahillat. Quran chapter 2 verse 189. I shared a screen. I'm bringing the topic to an end because it's SS. I've said enough time. Okay. Quran chapter 2 verse 189. It says, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ. They ask you about the crescents. Ahillat is a plural form from the word hilal. Ahillat, we are talking about the crescent. We have the waxing crescent, the waning crescent. There are different types of crescents. So when they ask you about the crescents, which some people will say new moons, say they are timings for the what? People and the Hajj. That is what the ahillat are used for. They are timings. That is why you hear the hadith followers and so on saying that the Hilal committee, they try to go and search the moon. And no, you don't need to go and search the moon. Wherever you are, when you enter that month, you witness the crescent. It will appear. Maybe the second day you see it in the sky. You don't need to go anywhere searching for it. Right? You will see it in your country, wherever you are. If Australia happens to see the crescent today, Germany might see it tomorrow. That's how it works. Don't go searching for it. It didn't get lost. It will appear for you to see it. Nowhere did God say, go and search for the moon. Gone are the days these people will tell us they are searching for the moon. Why? Where did it go? Where? Where are you searching for it? Facebook or where? Wherever you are, it will be time for you to see it. Yeah? If Saudi Arabia see it today, that's not your palava source. Wait till you see it. That's why God says, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ. Because it is not all of us who witness it the same time. So when the month comes, the only way, remember, Quran chapter 17 verse 36, وَلَا تَخْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ إِلْمٍ. Do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. Somebody will say, what if I'm blind? Is it the country you are, everybody is blind? Hey, you're asking me what if you are blind? You are blind. Everybody is blind? Huh? Okay. So now, they ask you about the crescents. Say, there are timings for the people and the Hajj. So we use the crescents for as a timing to know the beginning of the month and the end of the month. You understand? So that as soon as we enter into the month of Ramadan, you know, look, the whole world, there's no other calendar which has the month called Ramadan except the Hijr calendar. And Prophet Muhammad used it whether you like it or not. We are in the 1445 years. The calendar is consistent. If you don't believe in calendar, bring your own. Let's see. No problem. And start counting. And change your birthday. Remove your date of birth from your passport. Change it, create your own and give it a name, because the Ethiopians, everyone, they have their own. God is bringing simplicity to you. Don't make life difficult for you. Quran chapter 22 verse 78. He is the one who has chosen you and has not placed any difficulty upon you in the deen. Remember that. There's no difficulty. God makes things easy for you. The Quran is supposed to be a guiding light, a navigator for you, to help you to know your location, right? Prophet Muhammad existed. He fought the Battle of Badr. He used a calendar. We call it Hijr calendar. It is there. It's consistent till today. I'm serious. Ladies and gentlemen, if I stay here too much, I'll spoil it. So, unfortunately, I was doing a particular explanation, forgetting that I wasn't sharing the screen. So one sister called my attention. Thank you, Sister Muslima, called my attention that my screen was not showing. And I have to rephrase what I said. But hopefully it should be beneficial. I think the playback will help a lot of people to understand the point, right? So sometimes events in history, the date for events in history helps you to reflect on particular subjects or issues, right? Dates. Quran gives you stories, histories of things, but the dates, you and I have it stipulated everywhere. Look for the dates and cross-check the Quran and get the right hadith in the Quran about the issues and be consistent with time. Remember that. Don't let anybody formulate a new calendar for you. For people telling you Ramadan is in September, the last time I checked, Prophet Muhammad was not using Gregorian calendar or Julian calendar. The last time I checked, he was using Hijr calendar. So there's nothing like September. Which month did God say he revealed the Quran? Was it September? Ramadan. Remember that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done with the program on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. This is Baba Shoaib, the correctional officer. Yeah, James Tinsley, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think he sent me a message. I'll check it out. I'll try to get back to him. We are supposed to do a program again, inshallah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Baba Shoaib. This is where I bring the topic to an end. We catch up again next week. But for those who want to enjoy the show, I'm jumping on TikTok. I'll be there like 2 hours maybe, because I've already spent almost 3 hours here. I'm going to TikTok for a bit before I go away, right? So the mushriks, I spoke about Numan Ali Khan, and then I spoke about the hadiths concerning what they give you, the jumbles of narrations they give you concerning Ramadan. And then now I spoke about how to pinpoint the date of the Battle of Badr and know the date, how it's consistent with time, that the Quran, the Al-Furqan, was revealed in the month of Ramadan. in the 17th of Ramadan, second year after Hijr. That is the day of Badr, and that is the day God revealed the Al-Furqan. The evidence is there. You can check it for yourself, right? So it is consistent with time. There's nothing like, oh, the season or this is September or it's October. No. God never revealed the Quran in the month of the Gregorians or the Julian calendar. He used the Hijr calendar because the Arabs at that time with the Muhammad alayhi salam, the believers, they had a calendar. So that is why God says, Sharu Ramadan al-Lazi unzila fihi al-Quran hudan linnas, because it's a month that they know. It's a month on the calendar. And Shahar can only be found on the calendar. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We meet again next week, Wednesday, inshallah. If God willing, we have started the Siyam. I'll be doing a lecture on that to show you how things need to be done based on the Quran. Like I said, if you have a doubt, don't do it. If you are not sure, next week we are entering into the month of Ramadan. Please, I repeat, please don't do it. Stay away, investigate, research. When you are convinced, you do it. Baba Shoaib, are you convinced next week? Yes, I'm convinced. When I see the crescents, I'm going to do the abstinence. I'm serious. I'm doing it based on knowledge. I'm not doing it based on opinion and desires. Thank you very much. Sharif Karim, Balogun Olaika, Fatima Shin, Musa Khan, As Faraj, Tinkun Olam, Isaac Says, Baba Seidu, Salih Jimmy, thank you all. Abdul Samad, I know I cannot mention all of you, but thank you for being around. Nara Power, Don Nuru, all of you, God bless you. I appreciate the support. Keep it going. Ola Akim, yes, I'm moving to TikTok. You can join me there for a bit before I go. I got some rest. I thank you all for the support. Inshallah, we get to enjoy more of the Quran going forward. And also during the month of Ramadan, I'll be doing some lectures. So you are going to benefit from that. Right? There is no such thing as we are being like the Sunnis or no. We are using the Quran. Quran is our guidance. Simple. We are not following any Sunnis or any hibijibis, the comedy. So that is why I wipe them with the floor first before as the opening ceremony before we walk on them and go. So ladies and gentlemen, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, this is where I bring it to an end. We meet again next week. If you want to have more fun, join me on TikTok. I'll be on TikTok to have more fun. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hannah Banana, thank you all. I appreciate it. God bless you all. Join me on TikTok with the same name. I'm going to TikTok now. With the same name on Facebook, use that same name. YouTube, that same name. Use it on TikTok and find me. Bush229, Baba Shoaib, the correctional officer, you find me there. Thank you all. I appreciate the support. Till we meet again next week. Peace.